Chosen one, do you feel that weird feeling deep within your heart? You know that sudden knowing that something bigger is calling out to you and urging you not to miss the open door that is right in front of you. Right now is really your last shot to change everything, not by accident and not just by luck, but by a God-given meeting that has brought you here in this very moment. Your hard times, your fights, and your many tears, none of them have been wasted, because they have been leading you toward this exact second where believing meets destiny and hope turns into real things. If you have ever wondered when things might finally go your way, the answer is ringing out right now, because it is really happening right now. Close your eyes for a second and think back on everything that has pushed you to the edge, like the heartbreaks that almost broke you and the nights you spent begging for a miracle and the mornings you woke up not sure how you would make it through another day. None of that was random, really, because those parts were woven into the big story of your life so that you would appreciate and fully accept the breakthrough is about to happen. The hard stuff you went through actually had a bigger reason than you knew, because they were cleaning you up and shaping your spirit and getting you ready to get blessings way bigger than you ever thought. This is not just another pep talk to listen to and scroll past, because this is a special call and a real invitation from God for you to get up from the ashes of your past and step into your right to freedom and plenty and crazy success. Don't think small about the size of what is happening in your soul right now, because every part of your body can feel that something is shifting in the air. You have prayed and begged and fought to get here, and now heaven itself is opening doors that once seemed locked shut forever. Hear this clearly right now could be the big turning point in your life. This isn't just a random time, because this is the time that separates all that was from all that will be. It is your last chance to choose a path of brave faith and to let go of the lie that your dreams are too big or too far away. It is your moment to take the promise that was saved for you before you were even born. Do not let it slip through your fingers. Even as I say these words, I feel that bit of waiting stirring. It is the same voice that has whispered lies that you aren't worthy and planted seeds of doubt in your mind. It says, who am I to hope for this? Or maybe it is for someone else, someone who deserves it more. But honestly, that voice is not the truth. It is just fear, and it is the echo of past letdowns trying to keep you trapped in a place of not having enough. Right now is the time you hush that voice and step into the bright light of who you really are. You are chosen, and you are made for greatness, and you were never meant to live under the heavy weight of losing. As sure as the sun comes up every single day, things are turning in your favor. The plans lined up against you are being taken apart right now. The problems that looked huge a moment ago are shrinking into nothing under the power of God helping you. You have been led here for a reason, and it is not a small one. This is the result of every hard time you have gone through, and every prayer you have cried, and every hope you have dared to keep in your heart. Let go of your fears and release your doubts, and put yourself in a place to receive, and watch how fast the winds of change fix your life. If you feel even the smallest spark of faith lighting up inside you, I want you to do something bold right here, right now. Type 7777 in the comments below as a sign of stepping out in faith. You might think it is just a simple thing to do, but it carries a heavy spiritual weight. In typing those 3 numbers, you are saying that you are ready to accept what God has for you, and that you refuse to let this last chance slip away. You are basically casting a vote of trust in the unstoppable plan unfolding in front of you. Take a deep breath and feel that buzz in the air, because it is the real feeling of what is possible. For so long you might have felt stuck and unseen and overlooked, but right now changes that story completely. Look at the heroes of faith all through history, those regular people who said yes when the moment came. David stepped onto the battlefield with nothing but a sling and stones. Ruth followed Naomi into a land she didn't know. Joseph trusted his dreams even when being betrayed, and treated unfairly tried to shut them up. Each one had a big moment, like a specific time in which they could have chosen to quit or move forward in bold faith. You, my friend, are in your big moment right now. Now don't be surprised if you feel a bit uneasy. Change can be uncomfortable because it stretches us past what we know, but staying where you are will only guarantee more of the same old stuff. Trust that there is so much more to be found. You are one decision away, and one leap of faith away from seeing your whole life line up with destiny. Can you see it? The vision that has shined in your quiet moments is not just wishful thinking, because it is a preview of what is coming and a stirring from heaven that tells you something greater is on the way. Yet faith is not just believing that things can change it. It is acting like they already have. When you step out as if the breakthrough has already arrived, mountains begin to move, and the unseen becomes seen, and the things you can't touch turn into real blessings. It requires you to walk away from the old way of thinking and the old habits and the old talks that insisted life had to be small and limited. You do not serve a limited God, so why accept a limited life? Right now is not an invite to be just okay. Right now is a call to be bold, and it is a call to say with strong belief that I am done settling for crumbs when I know there is a feast ready for me. You have to decide that enough is enough. Enough of just surviving, and enough of just getting by, and enough of waking up in the morning with a feeling of dread rather than excitement. Enough of thinking that miracles are for someone else and not for you. That time of your life ends right now. Stay with me until the very end of this message, because I believe there is a specific instruction waiting for you. It is something that will shoot you into a new place of blessings and chances. Do not let your phone distract you, and do not let your mind drift back to worry, because the next few moments could totally reshape your destiny. Chosen one, do you realize what is happening? The chains of lack and fear and worry are falling off, and the door that once looked so impossibly heavy is creaking open. Sometimes the biggest miracle is the shift inside your own heart, which is the moment you truly believe that your tomorrow is not doomed to look like your yesterday. God sees you, and he sees every tear you have cried and every secret cry of your heart. He has not missed a single one of them, and he is moving. He is setting up connections and lining up resources and softening the hearts of those who will help you step into your harvest time. I want you to feel that shaking in your spirit, because this is an important time, and just sitting there has no place here, right now. Beyond the screen, heaven is clapping for your faith and cheering you on to take that brave step. Will you answer the call? Will you choose to let go of the reasons why it can't happen and start focusing on the reasons why it can? Remember, everything can change in a single night. Your darkest low point can transform into the brightest high point. The question is never about whether God can do it, but it is about whether you will let yourself receive it. There are souls tied to your yes, and people you have not even met yet are going to be blessed by your breakthrough. When you bloom, you become a vessel of hope and an inspiration to those still lost in their own sadness. This is bigger than just your own comfort or happiness. You have been picked to stand tall as a living proof that hope never fails and that faith can move mountains. Imagine the ripple effect when you step into the fullness of who you were made to be. Your story will be the reason someone else doesn't give up. If you sense that you are being guided to break old cycles, like cycles of debt or of heartbreak or of unhappy relationships, know that right now is a holy moment for that chain breaking to happen. You do not need a hard formula or a million signs, because you just need that spark of faith to become a big fire. If you have been fighting for a money breakthrough, do not be surprised if unexpected chances pop up out of nowhere. If you have been praying for healing, whether in your body or feelings or spirit, get ready to see things get better that confuse every doubter around you. God is in the business of doing way more than our wildest hopes. Some of you have been running on empty, feeling like there is nothing left to give, because you have poured yourself out for others only to be left drained and let down. But I am here to say that your time of filling up is here. Receive that word deep in your heart. The dryness is about to be flooded with living water. The seeds you planted in tears are about to grow a harvest so full that you will not even remember the sadness of planting time. Others of you have been in a standoff with fear, waiting for total certainty before you take the step. Let right now be the time you say, enough, I choose faith over being sure, and I choose God's leading over my comfort. There is a reason faith is looked at so highly. Faith means stepping forward, even when the whole path isn't lit up. A single step of faith can set off a chain reaction of miracles in your life. But it begins with you refusing to let this chance slip away. So, chosen one, are you ready to shift your mindset from fear to expecting good things? Are you ready to see your darkest night give way to the start of a new day? Then say it right here, right now. Comment 777 below and let the universe and every hanging doubt know that you are all in. This is your sign and your moment and your permission to believe for the impossible. The simple act of writing those 3 numbers is a spiritual deal. It is you standing strong and planting your flag of faith in the ground of destiny and refusing to be pushed by the storms around you. God honors bold moves. History is written by those who said yes when the moment arrived, not by those who hesitated until it was too late. Do not let the bad talk from others, or even from your own past, talk you out of what is saved for you. Their lack of belief does not cancel your calling, and their making fun does not cancel your special gift. In fact, sometimes the very pushback you face is proof that you are on the edge of something amazing. No one tries to block a person who isn't a threat to the darkness. The pushback often gets harder when your breakthrough is near. Chosen one, fix your eyes forward. The road behind you may have been paved with disappointment, but the road ahead is shining with promise. This does not mean you will never face hard times again, but it does mean that you will face them from a place of power and confidence and God's favor. The tests and hard times will no longer define you because they will just refine the warrior spirit inside. And once you step into that warrior identity, nothing can pull you back into the shadows of limits. Feel that stirring and that flutter in your spirit, because it is the voice of destiny calling out louder than your fears and louder than your regrets and louder than the voices who said you could never make it. I really beg you, do not ignore that voice. Do not shut up your own greatness. This moment is so much more than another day or another hour. This moment is full of potential that can unlock a lifetime of blessing. Some of you have been praying for a clear sign, and I strongly believe this is it. The timing is no accident, and the words are not random. There is a God set up in motion that is carefully prepared for you to walk into. God takes pleasure in showing you how loved and cherished you are. All he needs is your yes and your willing heart and your decision to grab the moment that has been set specifically for you. When you do, the floodgates open, and you will look back on right now as the turning point that changed everything. Picture what your life could look like if you truly believed in your own calling and your own special gift. Visualize money overflowing where you no longer have to scramble at the end of the month. See relationships fixed and your heart free from the scars of old wounds. Imagine waking up each morning with joy and purpose and the unshakable knowing that your steps are guided by a force bigger than yourself. That is not a fantasy, because that can be your reality. The only thing standing between you and that vision is your decision to believe and act. Even as I say these words, I know something within you is feeling it strongly and longing for this to be true. Let me confirm it for you that it is true. The God who parted seas, and who brought the dead back to life, and who made impossible things happen has not changed. That same power is alive and active for those who dare to believe. And guess what? You are one of those believers. You are the chosen one set apart to show what it looks like when faith meets destiny. But remember, faith is an action word. It grows on your willingness to move and to trust and to stand in the face of not knowing. You might still be wondering why right now. Because sometimes we need a deadline to light the fire inside. We need a late hour that forces us to stop waiting and finally claim what has been calling out to us all along. This is your late hour. This is your final invite to step beyond the edge of waiting and into the place of supernatural possibility. And make no mistake, the spirit of limits is shaking because it knows you are about to break free. Chosen one, if you let this moment pass, you may never know what might have been. Do not give tomorrow's regrets the fuel they need to haunt you. Instead, decide here and now that I will not miss my God appointment, and I refuse to settle, and I choose to believe that I am worthy of the overflow that heaven is pouring out. That is how you break cycles. That is how you rewrite the story. That is how you shift from surviving to thriving. Pause and think. How many times have you come close to giving up? How many nights did you stay awake staring at the ceiling wondering if it was all worth it? Right now you get to answer that question once and for all. Yes, it is worth it. Yes, every tear and every heartbreak and every disappointment was worth the growth and strength you gained, because it all led you to this crossroad of change. God never intended for you to live in constant struggle. There is a difference between going through a low season and setting up a permanent house there. If you have grown used to lack or heartbreak or worry, let this message shake you awake. You do not have to stay in that pattern one day longer. The door is open and the air is ready, and the power for breakthrough is heavy right now. But you have to say yes. You have to step forward, even if your knees are shaking. Faith does not require the lack of fear. It requires the boldness to move forward in spite of fear. That is what separates those who remain stuck from those who rush ahead into their promised land. I promise you, your promised land is not just an idea. It is a real place of peace and joy and money, safety and spiritual power that you can walk in daily. But you must cross the line of faith. You must do it right now. So, chosen one, let the old stories crumble. Let the doubt that has haunted you be overshadowed by the loud truth of your God identity. Let the bad vibes that once held you back be swallowed up by the promise of a new day. You stand on holy ground, and your miracle is already unfolding in the unseen place. All you need to do is claim it and to rise up with a right anger that says, I was not born to settle, I was born to fly. If you can sense the weight of this moment, and if something deep inside of you is crying out, this is my time, then grab it. Grab it with both hands and do not look back. Comment 777 below as a way of showing that you are choosing to embrace this final chance and that you refuse to let it pass you by. Let that be your battle cry and your banner of faith that declares you are open and willing and ready for the crazy change that is already on its way. Remember, you are not alone in this. Even if people around you do not understand, and even if they question your sudden burst of faith, heaven is celebrating your boldness. The angels rejoice when a person dares to stand on the truth of who God created them to be. You are stepping out of the shadows of doubt and into the spotlight of God's purpose, and the crowd of heaven is clapping with loud joy. This whole journey and every twist and turn has been leading to a chapter that is about to be written in gold letters. Make no mistake, your tears have watered the soil of your future harvest, and that harvest is about to burst forth with a greatness that will leave you without words. This is not about hype, this is about the unstoppable reality of grace and favor and free blessings that follow a heart given to God's calling. Open your eyes, chosen one, and see with the vision of faith. The path may still have blocks, but you are no longer walking it alone or in confusion. Now you walk it with destiny marching at your side, and with faith lighting your steps, and with a heavenly roar cheering you on. You walk it knowing that every heartbreak was fixable, and every setback was a setup for a massive comeback. Right now, as you lay your head on the pillow, let your mind be flooded with the knowing that something miraculous is moving. Let your heart rest in the promise that you have not missed your moment, and that in fact your greatest chapter is only just beginning. Let your spirit fly with the feeling that tomorrow you will see the first signs of a new time starting in your life. Do not let fear talk you out of it. Do not let past letdowns whisper that this is too good to be true. It is not too good, it is God. When He steps into the mix, the impossible bows down and the supernatural becomes your new normal. That is what you are stepping into. That is the place where your prayers become stories and your battles become crownings. Chosen one, this is it. The call has been sent, and right now is your last chance to fully accept the shift, and to let faith override fear, and to let love cancel out lies, and to let hope rule high in your mind. There is no time left for waiting or second-guessing. The speed is building like a giant wave that cannot be stopped. Will you ride it, or will you watch it pass by? You hold the answer in your hands and in your heart. Everything can change in a flash if you say yes. That is the kind of God you serve, one who can speed up what should have taken years into just moments, one who can fix in a single instant what the enemy spent decades trying to destroy, one who can lift you from the pits of hopelessness to a high place of victory so fast your head will spin. And so I beg you, do not let this time pass as just another evening. Do not let it fade into the background of boring life. Mark it down and remember it, because this is the line in the sand between your old season and your new one. The angels are waiting for your response, and heaven is ready to move for you. The gates are open wide, and the King is ready to pour out blessings that will forever change your story. I need you to hang on every word now, because in just a moment we will move into a powerful act of faith that will seal this moment in your spirit. Keep your heart open and do not click away, because your destiny depends on your willingness to stand at the door of the unknown and say, "Yes, Lord, I trust you." If the tears are coming up in your eyes right now, do not push them back. Let them flow, because those tears are a sign that your spirit recognizes truth. You are shedding the last bits of doubt, fear, and not believing. You are stepping into a new place where you will walk with confidence, knowing that you carry the favor of the Almighty. Chosen one right now truly is your last chance to change everything, but it is not a threat, it is a glorious invite. It is an invitation to banish your old limits and jump head first into the storm of grace and purpose that has been swirling around you. It is an invitation to live without regret and without looking over your shoulder and without wondering what if. The door is open, and the only question is whether you will walk through it. Take a deep breath and let your lungs fill with the electric air of possibility. You have waited your whole life for a meeting like this, which is an opportunity to step out of the boring and into the miraculous. This is your moment, and I promise you, if you embrace it fully, the rest of your days will be marked by a before, and after that will leave you in awe. Have you commented 777 yet? If not, do it now. Let heaven and earth see your declaration and type those 3 numbers, and let them serve as a loud amen to the prayer you have been carrying in your heart. Let them stand for your strong belief that right now is a holy appointment that will reshape your future. Every chain and every wall and every lie that said you could not is bowing down right now. Every family curse is losing its grip on your line, and every money struggle and every emotional wound and every spiritual setback is giving up to the authority of your Creator. You are being released into a future that sparkles with promise. This is not a practice run, this is the main event, and as these words wrap around your spirit, I want you to feel the shift. Can you feel it, that the air around you is charged with God's power, ready to perform wonders in your life? The next time you look in the mirror, see someone changed, someone carrying the coat of victory. That is who you are, and that is who you have always been, even when you forgot for a moment. Chosen one, I can feel the electricity of your faith still pulsing through every word you read. The flame has been lit, and there is no turning back now. You have said yes to this moment, and yes to the stirring deep in your soul that refuses to be silenced. You have chosen to believe that right now is different and charged with supernatural possibility and a rare rush that you cannot afford to ignore. Embrace that rush and lean into the thrill of stepping out in faith. If your heart is racing good, that means you are alive to the promise ringing in these words. Hear this: your past can no longer hold you hostage. The guilt and the shame and the regrets, none of them have the power to override the destiny calling you. Yes, you have made mistakes, and we all have. Yes, you have struggled in ways that felt never-ending, but the minute you decided to step into this special hour, you opened the door for redemption to flood every corner of your life. Every wrong step can be reused into a lesson that pushes you forward. Every lost dream can be brought back if you will just dare to believe. Your future is not a product of your past. It is born from your decision in this very moment to trust in something greater than yourself. Look at yourself through the lens of heaven. You are not defined by limits or labels or the opinions of others. You carry a God signature that marks you as infinitely valuable. Sometimes life can beat us down so hard that we lose sight of that signature, forgetting that we were created with intention and love. But I say over you right now, rise up and take back your identity. You have been labeled as chosen for a reason, and when you start to see yourself as heaven sees you, the air around you shifts. That is not self. Help fluff it is spiritual truth. As a person thinks in their heart, so they become. So think of yourself as a winner, unstoppable and deeply loved, because that is exactly what you are. If any voice in your head is still holding on to doubt, let this be the time that voice is silenced once and for all. Doubt has served only to keep you in cycles of staying stuck. It has told you lies like maybe next time, or what if it doesn't work out. But next time is no longer an option. This is the time, and this is the top moment where your destiny is calling you out of the shadows of waiting into the light of bold decision-making. There is no more space for half-hearted commitment. Half-hearted has never moved mountains, only faith on fire has that power. You might be thinking, but what about my resources or my money or my connections? Let me tell you something. When you align with destiny, resources chase you. The money you need and the relationships that will lift you and the open doors you have been praying for will start appearing. That is how you know you are in the flow of God's purpose, because everything you once chased now begins to pursue you. It does not mean you will not work hard. It means your hard work will be supernaturally multiplied. You do your part, and heaven does the rest. Suddenly the 5 loaves and 2 fish you offer will feed thousands. That is the beauty of faith math. Think of Moses standing before the Red Sea. In the natural it looked impossible, with an entire nation behind him and a seemingly huge barrier ahead, but God had already made a way where there was no way. Moses just had to lift his staff and step forward in faith and witness the miracle. Right now, I want you to see yourself in Moses' shoes. Whatever stands before you as an impossible sea of circumstances is about to part. Not tomorrow and not a year from now, but right now. As you activate your faith, the path forward becomes clear. And when it does, your job is to walk through it without looking back. But do not think for a second that stepping into this moment will go unchallenged. The very fact that it is your last chance to change everything often brings resistance. You might notice distractions popping up like never before, or crises might threaten to derail your new commitment, or people in your life might suddenly question your decisions. Recognize these as signs of a spiritual pushback, because the darkness shakes when it sees someone on the edge of a life-changing breakthrough. The good news is no level of darkness can put out a heart set on fire by faith. Let that boldness rise within you, chasing away every doubt and every voice that says you should settle for less. Look around and see how far you have already come. You are not the same person you were last year or last month or even last week. Every challenge has put wisdom and strength in you. The version of you standing here right now is a refined warrior, prepared for winning in ways you might not even fully get. Give yourself permission to celebrate the progress, no matter how small it may seem, because the same God who started a good work in you is faithful to finish it. This moment of stepping out is part of that finishing process. Remember, the simplest acts of faith can trigger huge results. When the Israelites marched around Jericho, it was not a grand show of strength in the natural sense. It was a seemingly odd instruction. Yet their listening caused walls to crumble. In the same way, your listening right now and your willingness to say yes might look small to the outside world, but in the spirit outside world, it is tearing down walls that have trapped you for far too long. Do not underestimate the power of your giving in. Chosen one, if you have not yet typed 777 in the comments, do it now. Let it symbolize your Jericho march, and let it be your statement that walls are falling and a new view is coming. This is about more than a number on a screen. It is about showing that you mean business with heaven. It is your outside sign of an inside shift and your public promise to a private truth. Watch what happens in your life when you make this stand of faith. Every moment in this life is precious because time does not slow down for anyone. If you keep waiting for perfect conditions, you might wait until your days have slipped away. But God is the God of special moments, those moments when forever invades our ordinary world and turns everything upside down. This is one of those moments. The sense of urgency is no accident, and the nudge in your heart is not your imagination. It is a divine nudge telling you that you cannot afford to wait a second longer. You were built for such a time as this, and heaven is handing you a pen to write your next chapter differently from anything that came before. Let the haters say what they will, because critics will always be there. Some might roll their eyes and call you silly, and others might scoff at your sudden burst of faith. Let them, because they are not the author of your destiny. God is. In the end, the only real tragedy is if you look back on this night full of regret, wishing you had trusted a bit more, or believed a bit sooner, or acted a bit bolder. Refuse to give regret that power, and instead let faith be your driving force. Soon, enough those who doubted you might just be the ones asking how you did it, and how you shifted from barely getting by to thriving in every area of your life. There is no better time than now to speak life over your situation. If you have been using words of losing, change your language. Begin saying, I am blessed, and I am favored, and I am walking into my destiny. Doors are opening for me that no one can shut. Words carry creation power, especially when they match God's will for your life. The very air around you can shift when you speak in agreement with holy promises. Suddenly new doors swing wide open and fresh ideas flood your mind, and your energy levels go up because you are in harmony with a higher truth. In the stillness of your spirit, you know you are meant for more. Maybe you have tried to talk yourself out of it, telling yourself that you should be happy with what you have. Being content is beautiful, but not if it means burying your gifts out of fear. You can be grateful for where you are while actively stepping into greater levels of your calling. That mix between gratitude and ambition is where true growth happens. Right now, choose to be both grateful and expecting. Thank God for how far you have come, and at the same time dare to believe that this is just the foundation for something even bigger. He is the God of way more than you can ask, think, or imagine. So dream bigger and pray bigger and expect bigger, because that is the language of faith